Kate Guillen, and I'm the founder of Simplicity Ops, and I'm very excited to welcome you today to the Simplicity Ops Academy. But before we get into the overview of the investment advisory world, I want to preface this conversation by saying that I myself am a former CSA. I've been working in the industry since the beginning of 2013 in an admin and ops capacity supporting financial advisors, and I started this academy as a way to give you everything that I wish I would have known when I first joined an investment advisory firm. And so welcome. Very glad you're here. If you are here, it means, you're stepping into a more professional version of your role. And I'm really excited for you. So whether you're brand new to the investment advisory world or you've been supporting advisors for quite some time, this program is designed to give you something that most administrators never formally receive, or at least I didn't when I was in your shoes, and that is context. Because strong admin skills in this role are not enough, okay? What makes a client service associate exceptional is not the speed, that you get things done. It's truly understanding the root and the why behind what you are doing. And so I want to start this conversation by saying financial advisory firms are not your typical business. Clients are not buying a product. They're literally trusting advisors with their retirement savings, with their business sale proceeds, with their inheritance, their generational wealth, and honestly, their overall financial security. And so that level of trust requires a lot of structure. It requires a lot of discipline. It requires a lot of consistency. And that depends heavily on operations, which is a huge piece of what you're going to be doing or what you are currently doing. And so I want to set some expectations here first and kind of explain what the Academy is and what the Academy is not, and how to be a really good student. And so let's clarify what the program is first. The CSA Academy is a 6-week advisor fluency intensive, meaning it's designed to give strong administrators an understanding of how advisory firms operate, how advisors make decisions, where potential risk exists, why documentation is so important, and how to communicate professionally within the industry. Okay? What this program is not is a licensing course. It's not investment training. It's not, any sort of certification to give advice. It's definitely not a compliance manual. We will talk about all of those things, but you're not going to be recommending portfolios. You're not going to be predicting markets. You're not going to be giving any sort of tax advice. But what you will gain is fluency in all of those topics. Okay? So you heard me say a lot over the course of this engagement, speaking advisor, and I want to explain a little bit about what that means. Speaking advisor doesn't mean just using the industry jargon. What it does mean is an understanding of the environment that you're operating in. Because when you speak advisor, you understand, that there is certain language that's precise. You understand why documentation is so important. You recognize when you need to escalate things to others on your team. You can kind of start to anticipate operational needs of your advisors. And honestly, it's really going to help you remain calm during volatile times. And advisors really need to trust their team members. And the best way to do that is just appear very steady and very confident in your role, because that level of fluency really is going to create that steadiness. And so I'm going to keep rolling here and talk about many CSAs, or at least in my experience, begin their careers feeling really reactive. So you might be completing tasks without totally getting the why behind it or understanding the full context. You might pass things on or escalate things to other team members because you're a little unsure. You might hesitate to escalate things because you don't want to, be burdensome. You might feel uncomfortable in meetings or during certain conversations because you don't totally get the terminology, or you might just avoid the financial terminology altogether. And so that level of uncertainty is normal, but over the next 6 weeks, I think your perspective is really going to shift. You are really going to start to understand the structure behind the tasks. You're going to recognize patterns in client behavior. You're going to be able to identify operational risks before they become a problem. You're going to know how to communicate a whole lot more clearly and professionally, and that's going to help you stay 2 steps ahead. So what that shift is basically going from reactive to structured, and that's really going to transform your value within inside the organization. And so let's talk about that for a second. The advisory ecosystem operates within a highly regulated environment. They're shaped by fiduciary responsibilities, compliance oversight, documentation standards, and long-term client relationships, of course. Everything you're going to learn in this program is going to connect back to those things. None of this exists randomly. Every form, every workflow, every escalation, every documentation requirement, those are all very structured, and it all helps support that trust that we're talking about. And so your role is vital in this system, where like an advisor is going to focus on strategy and portfolio construction, financial planning, and client guidance. You're really going to be supporting the execution, the documentation, the communication, moving money, and aligning with compliance. And so without operational excellence, the advisory excellence can't scale. And so your role is not secondary here. Your role is very structural. And so I want to set some expectations here now of what you can expect from us and this program over the next couple of weeks. Each week, you're going to complete a couple of hours of recorded curriculum, very similar to this. We also offer a live office hour on Fridays, where you'll have the opportunity to meet with my team, who are also seasoned client service associates and have a deep understanding of all of this, to be able to ask questions, to clarify things maybe that are unclear, to review your knowledge checks, which is a huge piece of what we're going to be doing, to be able to fully assess your ability to make judgment calls and just understand the overall operations of your role. So I highly recommend that you attend those office hours. You will not be able to proceed until you take the knowledge checks, but this will be a good way to know where you're at and, things maybe you need to brush up on or study again. And so this program is really designed to be manageable alongside your full-time role. It's not going to be about memorizing terminology, but it's about building perspective. So at the end of the 6 weeks, you'll complete the final assessment, which is really how we're going to be able to demonstrate fluency and judgment. And so throughout this academy, you're going to notice a very consistent theme here, and that is our belief that professionalism is discipline. So we're going to help guide you and give you the discipline in communication, documentation, escalation, process, boundaries, because we know that confidence doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from really knowing your scope, really knowing your role, and being able to operate within it. And so we will give you the clarity to be able to do that very well. I'll wrap by saying you're entering in or continuing in a profession that is built heavily on trust. And that trust is built over a long period of time, not just in a single meeting, which means it is developed through consistency, clarity, and precision over time. And so over the next 6 weeks, we are really going to work with you to help develop that confidence, to help give you that clarity and precision. You'll develop a really solid framework to be able to support that trust confidently. And so I'm not here to try to turn you into an advisor. I'm just trying to help you understand how advisors think so that you can be a killer support person in your organization. So excited to dive in. See you there.